And welcome back, viewers, in Trinidad and Tobago, across the Caribbean and the wider world globally, wherever you may be viewing from. We want to welcome you to Book Club Corner. We just had a quick chat with Garnet Lawrence, the winner for the Bocas Children's Book Prize, and we're here today chatting with another fantastic author. Her name is Dr. Margaret Price, and she is the first-time published author of My Incredible Life's Journey. She's a registered nurse, a former nursing tutor, a former director of nursing, and a dean of nursing and health services. Health sciences. Yes, health sciences. So we want to welcome Dr. Margaret Price, a woman from the soil. We can't say enough about her accolades. She is not a medical doctor, but she has her PhD in
public administration.
Listen, smart as a whip. Welcome, Dr. Price.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're here to talk to us about a book that you've written, a memoir.
Yes.
Right? About your life and your work. Let me tell you guys, there's so much to get into today. But before we do that, you know how we do it on Book Club Corner. We always have some refreshment, some libations, something happening. And what makes Book Club Corner especially special today is that we are not going to be having our usual libation of local wine. We're going to be having some verre d'eau. It's a glass of water in French. And we're going to be having some water. And I'll tell you why. Let me pour you your water, Dr. Price. And usually on Book Club Corner, we do the 5 S's of wine tasting. Today we'll be doing the 5 S's of
water drinking.
Water drinking. She said it, guys, not me. But I want to thank you for being here with us. One of the things I had to ask her if she was going to be comfortable discussing, because she disclosed to me, because I asked my guests, do you want to drink the wine? Are you a wine drinker? We usually sip and chat, and they say yes, or they say no. Usually it's yes. We have a lot of lovely bibbers. But she said, no, I can't. I'm diabetic. And I said, that is something we have to talk about on the show. So cheers to you,
cheers.
Dr. Price.
Thank you.
Right? I'm going to savor and sip this water here. They haven't sponsored us, so we won't tell you the brand. When you'll sponsor us, we will tell you all about the brand of water we're drinking. But yeah, I decided today we're not going to have the usual wine that we sip on, because we have a lot of authors who are dealing with diabetes. And this is the Christmas season, right? And you coming from the health sector, I thought it was very apropos that we discuss that quickly. As authors dealing with diabetes, dealing with health issues, we sometimes gloss over the care that we have to put into ourselves, right? We want to put into the work, we want to do work as creators, but tell me, how has this affected and how has your creative avenue helped you in managing this condition that you're living with?
Well, I have been diabetic since 1990. Okay, and I just follow the protocols of testing my blood sugar, following whether I'm on insulin or on tablets. Now I'm on tablets. I'm on 2 anti-diabetes tablets. And I take them regularly, and then I of course, you have to watch your diet. That's the most important thing, because the amount of starches you take affects your blood sugar. Okay, and if you wanted to control it, then you have to watch your diet.
Yes.
So there's some people who can just watch their diet and exercise and not necessarily have to take insulin or any other thing. But there are people who, the atmosphere we live in, it's very tempting to eat sweet things. For some unknown reason, when you're diabetic, it seems that that sweet things appeal to you more than anything
they
else.
Just keep appearing.
And you just, yes, and everywhere you go, somebody's offering you something, especially in this season. We love black cake, so when we go but you can't have everything in moderation.
Yes.
That's your entire life. You have to do things in moderation. And so I've lived quite healthy and happy I'm 87 years old with my diabetes since I was, in my 40s.
Yes.
And so, I don't see it as a handicap. I see it as a discipline. And that's it. You just have to take the discipline, and that's it.
Yes. I want to put a plug out to all pre-diabetic, because there's that too, right? You don't just go into full diabetes. You do have that.
You do.
Listen, guys, it's Christmas season. We love our black cake and our cakes and our, pastels, and we love it. We love it. And we want you to live a long and prosperous and happy life. Please be mindful of how much you're consuming and how it's affecting your body. If you are experiencing some odd symptoms, right, some of the symptoms for pre-diabetes is sometimes the clouding of the eyes, right? You're not able to focus. I feel like something is going on with your eyesight. That's just one. And then there's the frequent urination as well. Look it up, guys. We're just saying, this is not to scare anybody or to make anybody, feel down for the season, but we just want to say, please be mindful of what you consume and take care of your health. It's all well and good to eat and drink and laugh, but you want to be healthy at the end of the day, right?
Amen.
Everything in moderation, as
That's
Dr.
right.
Price said. And don't take it from me. She's a health professional. She said it, right? So what she said.
And I'm a healthy person.
Yes, and we can see that.
I'm diabetic,
right?
but I'm healthy.
We can see that from, your size at this age. You've been able to maintain a certain body weight. And we're happy to see that, you're managing your diabetes. We want to get into this book. It's called My Incredible Life's Journey. Yes, you can make one. Yes, you can make one. You also can make one. Sorry, guys. And Dr. Price wrote this book traveling, working across the world. I'm looking at the cover of the book. Put up the cover again first, guys. The cover of the book, I don't know if you all are able to see. In those flowers, she has put destinations in them. So I'm seeing here Nigeria, Egypt. So each flower is a continent. I'm seeing Liberia, Zambia, Switzerland, Japan, High Crystal. I have a sister in Japan right now. I'm seeing Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda. We just lost one of Antigua and Barbuda's soca artists.
Yes, I saw that last night.
Condolences to him and his family. We have Jamaica, right? We got dancehall music and parties and all of that. We have Barbados, and Dr. Price and I both spent some time in Barbados, right? I was there for 10 years. You were there for 3 years.
Yes.
So this cover really speaks to your world travel and all the work that you have done.
Yes.
What made you decide to do the cover in this way, in kind of putting in some Easter eggs, as we call it, some hidden treasures?
I wish I could claim the thing for that, but it was one of my nieces. Okay, she loved to draw, and so she drew a continuity, starting from Tobago, and my friends from Trinidad are a little upset at me because it doesn't say Trinidad and Tobago. It says starting from Tobago at the top.
I see.
And where I went to next to England, and the places I visited while I was in England, and then to Canada, and the places I went to while I was in Canada. And I worked with CARICOM, so the CARICOM islands, the islands are there, and so she drew them in a line. And then the publishers, the artists, just pulled them together as one bouquet.
I love it.
And I think it's beautiful.
This is such a fantastic and unique idea. And when you're doing your book covers, you always want to have that unique idea about your book cover, something that you can, you can drop in there. And I love that yours is what we call an Easter egg, this hidden thing that you can say literally, have you seen how many countries Dr. Price has been to? We could literally ask that, right? How many countries has Dr. Price been to? And if you don't know, check her book cover.
Yeah.
All right. We want to get inside the meat of this. There's so many great things in your book, and I love a good memoir. This is a memoir. So a memoir is a type of biography, right? Really and truly, the person has not passed on yet. They're still here with us. And using this book as a life lessons, right? Holding it up as an example of what you can do as well, or how you can get through whatever they're talking about. So memoirs are great inspirational tools, right? Tell us why you decided to write a memoir. And what's the purpose of yours?
Okay. I think a friend of mine, when I lived in Ghana, when she came to Ghana, and she lived in Canada, but would always come when I'm on her holidays to whichever country I was in. And because of what I was doing in Ghana, she thought I had a story to tell, and I should tell that story. At first, I thought I don't have a story to tell. But then eventually, when I retired, and the children that I adopted kept on saying, Auntie Margaret, do this and do that, I decided, okay, I'd write the memoir. I wrote it because I think it could be inspirational to others, to people. At first, I thought people from third world countries, people from underdeveloped countries, black people moving overseas and things. I thought it would be instructive to them. But then I started getting feedback, as you would see on some of the thing, from white people who were quite happy to read the memoir and to congratulate me on it, because I was able to live and work well, Canada was white, and I got to the top of my profession there, and so I worked in the States. I got into the States on a visa, that because I was able to do what I could do.
Right.
So they thought that
for health
reasons, yes. And so they thought that I had a story to tell, and they'd like me to tell it to more people. And so I wrote the book.
Yes. I really love how you have section of the book. Guys, we're bibliophiles over here. We love, one of the things we love to look at is the table of contents, right? We look at the book from the beginning to the last page. And when I looked at the book, the table of contents, I noticed here that there's a whole section on Ghana and several other African countries. And I said, we have currently, so let me tell you guys, in case you might have missed it, Dr. Price, there is a Ghanaian digital content creator here in Tobago. He was at the Tobago Update Studio on Monday talking about his work as a content creator and so on. So when I saw that you had also worked and lived in Ghana, I said, I feel like it's just so full circle this week, right? This connection with Africa, this connection with Ghana, Nigeria and stuff like that. And he does his work in Ghana, trying to promote Africa and the African diaspora. So he has traveled, and I want to talk to you about one, your work in Ghana and your connection to perhaps Africa as a person of African descent. Tell us about your time in Ghana, what you did there, how long you were there, and one of the things that you would impress upon people why they should perhaps visit Ghana.
Okay. Well, first, Tobago is populated by Ghanaians. Okay. I was able to trace my grandfather's family, the Kwakos, in Ghana, because my grandfather had passed it on to my great-grandfather, to my grandfather, to my mother. I didn't know much about it until she passed it on to the grandchildren. And when I was going to Africa, the first thing one of my nieces said is, "Are you going to visit grandmother's family?" And I thought, how would I do that? And she says, well, grandmother says that the family is a Kwaku and thing, and a Ga. And I said, okay. So I'd go and I'd ask, and sure enough, I found them.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So that was easy. The problem I had was with them was that they wanted me to learn to speak Ga, and my husband wanted me to speak Akan. But then everybody spoke English, so.
So what is Akan?
Akan is a different language that what's his name, who came here the other day?
Okay, yes.
The
The Prince
speak
of
Akan.
Ghana. Yes.
The different tribes speak different languages.
Yes.
Okay, but they communicate in English as the thing language. So, but the names, the Kwakus, the Kwaminas, the Kwashis, the Kwash, the thing, they're all Ghanaian names.
So your husband is from Ghana as well?
My husband, yeah, well, he's passed. He was Akan. He's passed. He was a Mono Lats, and he was Fanti.
Did you meet him in Ghana?
No, I met him at the World Health Organization in Geneva. When I was working, when I went to Geneva, he was working with the World Council of Churches, and they sent me over to meet him because he had written a book on primary health care, and I was doing primary health care.
Right.
And
so he's an author, just like you.
Yes.
It's in the family.
He did. Anyway, so in Ghana, I felt very much at home. The culture is very Tobagonian, or Tobago culture, as it was. It's very Ghanaian. The family, the center of the family, and the community and things like that was very much there.
Yes.
And it is still very much there, although it's getting westernized and we're losing some of that.
Same thing is happening.
And same is happening here.
Yes.
And so when you come back, you notice
this.
this.
How long did you live in Ghana?
I lived there for 22 years.
My goodness.
Uh-huh.
Tell us a little about the food.
Well,
you all know I'm a
yes.
I love gastronomy. Tell us about this food.
Well, you have jollof.
Yeah,
okay.
we can't hear enough about this jollof and fufu.
Ghanaian jollof, is thing, and then they had banku and different types of food. But you got fish. At least living at the coastline, you got a lot of fish, which suited me fine because I don't eat meat. I love fish, and just the getting together, like you became family with friends. Like I was blessed with being able to help young people. So in addition to doing my work, I now have these 20 children who call me, they call me mom or call me Auntie Margaret. But I was blessed with having that. And through helping those children, I got into the family. There's one family that has adopted me like, Auntie Margaret, you know, this is it. And they were from northern Ghana, because I had helped the youngest daughter. And then there are the others that I have helped who became priests and different ministers, because I'm Roman Catholic, and I helped them through the youth, through St. Vincent de Paul Society, which is...
I'm so glad you said St. Vincent de Paul, because I saw in the book you have a photo. Let's go back. You have a photo of you in front. Well, it's not you, it's a nurse, yes, and she's
sister,
waving
yes.
at you.
Oh, yes.
Could we put up that photo? That building that she's in front of waving, right? Hi guys, could we have the photo of the building?
It's in the goodbye.
Yes,
pages
and that building is where you helped build that.
Yes, well, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, as you know, we look after the poor and the needy.
Right.
And it's all over the world in the Catholic Church. So when you move from one country to the next, you can continue serving. And so I've done that with that society. Even to now I'm home, and I see there's some gaps that we can still do in Tobago with, this was a daycare center.
Yes.
And it was supported by the community. for us to build. So I headed the whatever you call it and got it built. And
Could we have the photo of the
we were able to get the elderly there during the day, because a lot of older people, the families want to keep them at home, but then they're at home during the day by themselves.
Yes.
And so that was a problem. They can get out, the families could drop them off during the day, or they can walk depending on where they lived, and come to the center and socialize with others, do things, and skills and entertainment, because they a lot of them that have retired.
I love that idea of providing some help and care, aftercare, right? And I use that word aftercare, but this is after you've worked and contributed so much to your family, your community, your society. We are looking at, but I don't like the word daycare. I want activity center. If it was me, I don't want to, I'm too big for daycare. I want to go to the activity center where we, when I get there, me and my girlfriends and the little boyfriends that I meet, we drink and talk and laugh and eat and hang out and go on excursions across.
That's for the younger people, though.
But, I want
the older people. There has to be a care element as well, because you have to make sure that they take their medications, that they watch their diet. So you're providing the meals for them that are appropriate for their diagnosis or whatever they come with. And
perhaps even taking some vitals for them ever so often as they come in.
You have to check that for them as they come. So it's just that they're not a resident thing. They can go home in the afternoon. So you have somewhere for them to rest during the day, because a lot of older people like to rest between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock.
Yes, and wake up when they feel like it.
Yes,
right?
And then the family pick them at the end of the day and take them back. So that's what that program was about. So when I'm saying that I see a gap in what we're doing here, we have a home for the aged, but that's fully a home, a residential thing. But the daycare is not yet established.
So we need what you're saying is that we need more temporary, something that fill in the gap.
Yes.
Right? For their children who work taking care of their parents, the older parents. So that will fill the gap for them.
Yes.
In a provision of a service that is very minded towards what their needs are. Yeah.
And I think that those who cannot afford to have a caregiver at home during the day with them, could do something like that.
And that's very good. So let me just be clear. Dr. Price is talking about not a residential living situation, but something temporary where the elderly, your older mom and dad, aunties, uncles, whatever they may be to you, can go in during the day, spend the day there, be taken care of, monitored, given meals, right? And then they get to, to commiserate and fellowship with their, the people in the community around their age. I really, really love that. I think how can we get that for younger people? Because when you come out of school, right, you have to go and find your own group and hang out with them, right? But I think this is a fantastic idea. Listen, whoever is in charge of the elderly or getting this done, whether it's the Division of Health or whoever it is, y'all need to jump on this. Get Dr. Price, call Tobago Updates, get her number. She is, listen, I can't tell you how much she has shared with us. And she worked with, let me tell you, PAHO, CARICOM, right? The WHO, World Health Organization. And the reason you came here, mind you, was with COVID. COVID brought you home. Is that what you told me?
No, I retired and decided to come home. I was here during COVID.
Right. So you decided to put your head to the wheel to help.
Yes. Well, couldn't come home without help.
Yeah, of course.
Tobago, that was a Tobago part of me that I was brought up helping, because that's what people did.
Yes.
If the culture is changing, that's unfortunate. But we my parents, I know, always reached out. My parents always served and helped others, and they gave me that foundation that everybody is important, and you must help the poor, you must help the older people, and you must serve.
And I love that we're talking about, guys, if it missed you, let me bring it back. We're out of time. They're telling me I have to come off right before they turn off my mic. We right now are talking about elderly care, right? And we have with us an elder who is helping to care for the elderly. I hope that did not miss you all. I hope that didn't miss you all at all. Because there is something to be said about those who still can.
Yes.
That they should do.
Yeah.
And you still can.
Oh, definitely.
Listen, sharp, I can see it in your eyes, sharp as a whip.
Well, I'm okay.
Focused. Guys, let me tell you, she's sharp. I'm looking into her eyes, and let me tell you, the energy coming off of Dr. Price. Dr. Price, thank you for being here with us today. It was so wonderful having... Guys, get her book.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, get her book. It's called My Incredible Life's Journey. You can get it at the stores, the bookstores in Tobago. Get it on Amazon. Please, this is a great book. It's a great memoir. Support our local authors. Support Dr. Margaret Price and her book, right, by purchasing it as a gift for Christmas. If you don't want to read it, or read it and pass it on, that is a great idea. So many good things in here. Inspirational, guys. Inspirational. We're out of time, but I just want to cheers.
Yes.
Dr. Price, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And y'all, please take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. Be mindful of what you're putting in your bodies, how much you're consuming for this Christmas season. Take care of yourselves and
drink plenty of water.
Yes, what she said. Drink plenty of water, right? Take care of yourself, guys. We'll see you next week, Wednesday.